international Muslim group is launching what they're calling a curriculum to equip young Muslims with better knowledge of Islam. The idea is to prevent them from being drawn to the ideology of Islamic State and other groups promoting violence. One of the teachers is a young Scottish Shaykh who's in London today speaking to politicians, faith leaders and the police. Our reporter Fiona Walker's been asking him and other Scottish Muslims how they fight back against the persuasive messages of Islamic State.
It's Ramadan, when Muslims are asked to give extra thought to those in need around the world. But for those who've left to join ISIS or Islamic State, thinking of other Muslims in need has led to jihad, joining the fight in Syria, Iraq or elsewhere.
I would never want my son to go and put a bomb against his chest and just walk away and blow up the Americans or the United Kingdom anywhere.
Mrs. Javed says she monitors what her 14-year-old son is doing online so he doesn't get persuaded by extremism.
I walk into my son's bedroom, so what are you texting? What are you doing? Doesn't matter. Mom, what do you think I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing? You need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on, what kind of pages you're going on the internet.
But there's a fear that not all young people have someone looking out for them, which is why today in London there are calls for young Muslims to be given the Islamic knowledge to fully understand their own religion, like what jihad actually means. It's part of what's called the Islamic Curriculum on Peace and Counter-Terror. One of the Islamic teachers from the organisers Minhajul Quran International is Shaykh Rehan Raza from Glasgow. He wants to counteract extremist propaganda.
A lot of things that people who radicalize young people, they tend to use, for example, they would use a foreign policy. As an example, they would say that it's them against us. Look, they are killing Muslims around the world, so therefore there is a double standard within the foreign policy, so therefore it's them against us. And this narrative actually convinces some of the young people.
You can see why some young people might be persuaded by the foreign policy argument.
If there is a problem within the foreign policy, there are peaceful and democratic and constitutional means of addressing that issue. But in Islam, you are not allowed to resort to violence or terrorism under any circumstances.
Where does it say this in the Quran?
There's a whole concept, because the Prophet ﷺ defined a Muslim by saying that a Muslim is he from whose hand and tongue other people remain safe from. So in other words, a Muslim is he who is a source of peace, who is a source of harmony, source of compassion and security. So anyone who resorts to violence will not be classified as a true Muslim.
The organisation wants to fight the violence of Islamic State with words like these. I spoke to two businessmen in Glasgow, Ahmed and Adnan Ali. They say there's more they can do at mosques too.
There's a bit of a generation gap, as we call it. The old generation comes with a specific mindset that, okay, this is right and this is wrong. They don't actually explain that why it's right and why this is wrong. If something is prohibited in Islam, there must be a reason for it. The youngsters actually feel a bit isolated because they don't get much support from their elders.
They should speak in English. Lots of masjid, well, few of masjid, what I know, they don't talk in English. Young kids, they are not understand by language like Urdu, Punjabi or whatever, the community languages. So they are not taking interest in that sermon.
So there's various traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which have been mentioned.
Today marks the start of what Minhajul Quran International call a curriculum.
So that we explain these concepts to the young people, that this is the nature of Islam, because Islam in itself stands for peace.
Not only are they trying to reach Muslims, but they're also speaking to the government and the police to fight back against the powerful PR machine of ISIS or Islamic State.
Fiona Walker reporting there.